Hey gamers, and in today's video we're going to be talking about our Honkai Star Rail 1.1 tier list. Now, I like updating my tier list near the end of the update cycle just so I can get a full grasp on how good everything is, or how I feel how good everything is. So yeah, we're going to go over the tier list now, guys. I'm going to tell you guys what has changed with this tier list to the last tier list, and why I've moved people around, and where I put the new units at, that being Silverwolf, Yukong, and also Luocha. So we'll start from the D tier, go all the way up to the S tier, and then that will be the video. That'll be it, and you guys can tell me how dumb I am in the comments below, or if you like it. That's fine too. You can do that. So guys, let's go ahead and hop into it. Starting off with our D tier, which is the same exact thing. Herda is just come on. Herda is just really not that good on it. I don't think there's really much to say about it. I'll be honest with you guys. I think Honkai Star Rail right now is a really hard game to make a tier list for, just because everyone in the game, I feel like, or most of the characters in the game, have their own utility. Like each person has like their own thing that they can do really good that no one else can really do. Despite a couple units that have been released that kind of power creep the previous unit, but I still feel like we're still early game, so each one has like their own unique factor to it. So right now it's really hard to make a tier list in my opinion. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the C tier now. So we changed one thing in the C tier, guys. I've actually moved Sampo down to the C tier. I know, my himbo man, he's just not really doing good right now. But when Kafka comes out, I hope he's better. I hope he improves when Kafka comes out, because as of right now, he's just kind of right now. I mean, as far as his damage potential goes, is this really not all that there? Especially in higher level things. When I put him on the tier list earlier, I was like low Trailblazer level. Now that I'm higher Trailblazer level, I'm realizing that he is not all that good. So as of right now, we moved our Sampo down to a C tier. Oh, it hurts my soul to say that. But yes, we moved him down to C tier. Arlon and Trailblazer are still the same tier. I have seen better comps now with Arlon being used that actually have increased his damage output quite a lot. You have to be a high Trailblazer level to do that, so it's very in-game that you could do that, but I have seen better comps with Arlon. So hopefully in the future there are characters that enhance these destruction characters that take their own HP away more, so he can shine more, because I do feel like he could be really good with the correct supports. Hopping into our B tier now, guys, a couple things have changed with our B tier, as you can see here. First of all, we moved Himiko down from A tier to B tier. I just feel like Himiko is not getting really any better. Unfortunately, I love Himiko so much, but she's not getting any better from what it seems like. And also, I decided to move Serval down from the A tier to the B tier. Now, this could change here as well. Like I said, when Kafka comes out with the shock damage, and having that shock damage, I think her potential could go up, because I think she could support Kafka a lot more. If I'm being honest with you guys, if I could, guys, I would be putting Dan Heng probably to the bottom of D tier. My QQ does more damage than Dan Heng, and my Serval does more damage than Dan Heng does. And my Dan Heng is E6, guys, and I had him level 60, and I had them level 50, and they were doing more damage, so maybe it's a skill issue on my part, but I feel like getting him to hit high damage, because when you hit him for high damage, or when you hit his max damage potential, it's a lot higher than QQ and Serval on single targets. But the problem with him is it requires a lot of setup to get him built up to that point where he can hit that high damage, and it doesn't happen all the time. You have to wait basically every 2 turns where you can hit maximum damage, or every other turn, depends on what Eidolon you have him at. But yeah, I think just overall he is not that good. Maybe the imaginary one will be better when he comes out. I don't know. Asta's still in B tier though, guys. And also Natasha as well, guys. We moved Natasha down from the A tier to the B tier just because Luocha came out. Luocha basically does the same thing Natasha does, but a lot better. He heals the whole team passively. He's SP positive. He also can remove a debuff from your ally when using his skill. So I mean, just all around better than Natasha. So power crept there. So that's why we move Natasha down to the B tier. Also, I want to make a quick note on QQ as well, guys. QQ actually can do some pretty insane damage. Hopefully we can get some sets in the game that really help out QQ more, because I would love to use QQ more, considering I have her E4 now. So that would be really nice to see. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the A tier now, where the most changes have happened. I've moved a lot of characters down from the S tier to the A tier, just because I don't think they're as good as I originally thought they were. First of all, let's talk about Jing Yuan, guys. I moved Jing Yuan from the S tier to the A tier for one reason. For a lot of players, me, it's not a problem because I have all the setup in the world for him to make him hit really big damage. Because if you have Jing Yuan, have you tried using him without his signature light cone and without Ting Yun? His damage is just non-existent, but his damage is just like, it's down bad comparatively to what it is with that stuff and with that support. So for that reason, I moved him down from the S tier to the A tier because he does need a lot of support. He needs a lot of things to hit high damage, and just as a base character perspective, I think he is an A tier. Hopping into Yanqing as well. Now, Yanqing's damage potential is really, really high, guys. I was really hyping him up last time I made the tier list, but I have used him a bit more, so I will be moving him down from S tier to A tier because sometimes he can be a damage magnet. This one guy in the comment was right. He wasn't right about Don Hin hitting more damage, but he was definitely right about needing like a Japard or something else to take the aggro away from him, because once he gets hit, it's a full 2-turn cycle to actually get him back up and running. But once you get him up and running, he is like a well-oiled machine. He can hit really high damage, and he does really, really well. That's really all I can say as far as changes for the A tier on the DPS side. Pela is still A tier here as well. I think Pela is still really good and really cracked. But as you can see, one of the major changes we made to the A tier, guys, is Balulu. Yes, I'm moving Balulu down to the A tier just because of one fact. Bailu really doesn't have much in her kit to offer you other than healing. There's not really anything else there to really support the team other than just the healing. Luocha does healing. He removes buffs from enemies. He heals the team. He has an auto heal once you get down below 50% HP. Bailu has a revive and just healing. There's no other support outside of just healing, so I feel like she's already been power crept by Luocha. For that reason, we're going to move her down to A tier. She still has a massive amount of healing. She does a massive amount of healing still, but that's the only thing she does, and sometimes the revive won't even proc off if your character is CC'd, so that is also kind of down bad too. So for that reason, like I said, we're moving her down to the A tier. I do think she is still really good, guys. I just don't think she's on the level of Luocha. I think Luocha really sets the standard for what a healer can be and should be as far as like utility goes. She doesn't have much utility compared to him. That's the word I'm looking for, utility. Also, we moved Fire MC down to the A tier as well. I've been using them a lot more recently, and I just don't think that their shield is really copium. I think their shield really brings them down. I was really hyping them up before. The fact that you have to use a skill to taunt all the enemies and it still doesn't taunt all the enemies is just kind of down bad. The light cone choice that you have for them, I would probably recommend just running like Landau's choice just to draw more aggro away from the rest of your team. Because when I was fighting the Deer boss in MOC, the twigs in the Deer boss just did not want to target the Fire MC. They just don't want to target my Zila. They want to target my Yukong. They just were targeting everyone else except for Fire MC. So yeah, I'm moving Fire MC down to the A tier. Also, one other thing that I should note with the A tier, guys, is Yukong is A tier as well. The reason I have Yukong in A tier and not S tier is because I feel like she's less consistent than Ting Yun. Like you need like a more solid build for Yukong for her to work, just because her buff is only active for 2 turns, and you have to do a lot more timing as far as lining her ultimate up with her skill usage to get the buff off on the correct allies. And if you're using them with Jing Yuan, then you have to time it up with the Lightning Lord, so you're making sure the Lightning Lord gets the increased damage, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, everything like that. So for that reason, we are going to be putting her in A tier. I think she's a really good support, but it does take a lot of lining up to actually get her to work well, and the build you need for her is kind of hard to build too. So for that, like I said, A tier there, guys. Hopping into the S tier now, guys, something that hasn't changed. Clara and Zila, still S tier units. Clara has been absolutely carrying me in the Memory of Chaos, guys, as well as Zila as well. Clara with her counters just does massive damage, like sometimes hitting like 12k, 14k a counter, just Sparrock, help me! Sparrock's popping off. I don't know, man. He's just doing so much damage, and she still deserves to be S tier, guys. Still really good, and honestly, not that hard to build either. Really, you don't need any speed. All you're really looking for is like crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage. I mean, you're not looking for an extra speed stat there. You want probably some debuff resist, which is one of the hardest stats to get in the game, but it is what it is. I think she's a little bit easier to build than some of the other characters. Hopping into our debuff / buffer category now, guys, for S tier. Bronya, Ting Yun, Silverwolf, and Welt, guys. Yes, I moved Welt up from the A tier to the S tier just because I think his CC is super important, and also imaginary damage is super important, guys. I think this imaginary damage can help a lot as far as like going through Memory of Chaos. That's basically what I'm scaling this off of. His imaginary damage helps a lot as far as breaking the enemy shield and everything like that. I personally just pulled E1 Welt and I didn't get my Locha. Oh! Come on! Locha, please! Locha, please! Come on, baby! 50-50! Locha! Punch him! Punch him! Come on, Locha! But, you know, besides the point, we still have another imaginary type unit now that we can use and deal damage to Memory of Chaos. Now, Memory of Chaos will probably be changing soon, so that's down bad. But maybe we still have imaginary enemies we can attack with. Talking about Silverwolf now, guys, I think Silverwolf is just an improvement, like a major improvement upon Paler, guys. Silverwolf has a defense shred. Silverwolf has resistance shred. Silverwolf can make an enemy have a different typing. I mean, for that reason, you have to put her there. She gives negative speed, negative attack, negative defense with her normal attack. She's giving negative type resistance whenever you inflict them with a certain typing or whatever typing her skill does. And then her ultimate is just a defense shred. Really good, really correct. Probably the best debuffer in the game right now. Now, Ting Yun, guys, I think this can go without saying. She is really consistent. She gives you energy, which means you can get your ultimate back faster. And she gives you an increased damage buff as well. She's just really consistent all around the board. She's really SP positive because you only have to use her skill once every 3 turns, which is really, really nice. So for that reason, we're putting her on S tier. And then hopping over to the healer and tank category, guys, we have Gepard and Luocha. Luocha just sets a bar. I think it just sets a bar for what a healer should be. Luocha has multiple different utilities that he can use, that being his healing. He can do damage, he can remove buffs from enemies, he can remove debuffs from your allies, and then he can provide passive healing while all being SP positive, guys. Keep that in mind, SP positive. So you're keeping skill points for your DPS and buffers slash debuffers to use, guys. And for that reason, he's going to be S tier along with Gepard because Gepard can still solo carry you through most of Memory Chaos with just using him on your team. So guys, that's really going to do it for my tier list today. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the tier list in the comments below. Whether you think I'm copium, whether you think I'm not. Also, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we will be doing a giveaway for Kafka. Yes, Dom Mommy Kafka. We will be doing a giveaway for Dom Mommy Kafka using my whole YouTube paycheck. So this is just a thank you to you guys for supporting the channel, watching the videos, and making me money. So I'll be spending my whole YouTube paycheck for you guys to get Kafka, for one of you guys anyways. So yeah, just make sure you're followed for that. We'll have a video coming up in the future talking more about the details of how to like actually enter into the giveaway. So yeah, that being said, my face is normally not in videos, and it probably won't be in too many videos because I don't really know how to edit this, so my face is not in it. So yeah, guys, bye, see you later. Join the Discord maybe, that could also help you with the giveaway, maybe, we'll see, bye.